On this week's episode, we talk about Axel F.
And other pop culture news.
This week we've got a fun new movie on Netflix called Beverly Hills Cop Axel F.
Yes.
The fourth in the franchise.
Yeah. And 30 years after the first one was released.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking about...
No, it's close to 40.
Is it?
Yeah.
It was 1984.
Yeah, 40 years.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Wow. All right.
Anyway, 40 years after the first one was released.
Yeah, 30 years after the third one.
There you go.
And yeah, Eddie Murphy is back with Judge Reynolds. It's always weird to start to say his name because it's Judge, and you think, oh, I'm pronouncing it right, so no, it is Judge.
Yeah.
Judge Reynolds, and Bronson Pinchot, and the guy that plays what's his bucket? Target is back too, even though he retired on the third movie. Because what happened in the third movie was he didn't want to come back.
Yeah.
So was Jerry Bruckheimer and Don Simpson, who produced the first two. And it's like, nah, we're good. But Eddie Murphy wanted to make. He was like in a career moment that he was like, things were not working really well for him. So he was like, okay, I have to reboot, restart, and this is my most beloved character. How can I do that? And he did, and if you saw, you know, it's like, it's not as good as the first one.
It is not.
The only thing everybody remembers, and personally it was similar to me, is like, there's a scene that George Lucas is trying to go on a ride, and he cuts the line. But besides that, it's like there's nothing memorable about that one. Even the music is like they forgot to ignore what they did in the first one, because the music guy also didn't come back. But the guy that plays Target that didn't come back for the third one, come back for this one, Jerry Bruckheimer, Don Simpson, the producers, came back. So was Judge Reynolds, Bronson Pinchot, as I said, and they tried to follow the formula and do like they did on the first two. Yeah,
and I think they did a pretty good job. I enjoyed it. I did not particularly care for the third one. 1 and 2, super fun. And this one, I feel like fit into that. They definitely took advantage of being a Netflix film and used all the naughty words and all that stuff. There was a little bit more intense drama. It was fun.
Yeah. There was some generic stuff on it. Some predictable stuff that... I don't know. In the 80s, it was not like on the first two. It was not like it was predictable. It was explicit. You know, the bad guys are bad, and you see it and you know it. In this one, they kind of try to hide.
Oh yeah, it's supposed to be a twist, but it's the most obvious twist.
But it's like, it's like, yeah. Anyways,
fortunately, the movie doesn't need that twist to be entertaining, or it doesn't need the twist to be successful in order to be an entertaining movie.
Yeah, and overall was, I mean, all things considered, 40 years later, the guy was in his 20s back in the day. Now he's in his 60s, so all things considered, was good, was fun. It has some good nods, some good references to the original. They're like, yeah, you know. So all that considered, yeah, it's good.
Especially as far as like sequels that nobody was really looking for or asking for goes. Like, this could have been pretty terrible. Maybe it's why I enjoyed it. I had extremely low expectations going in, but I felt like it delivered. Like you said, lots of references, lots of inside jokes, but it didn't really rely on those. Everyone did a nice job. there were some, if I feel like if you enjoyed the first two, this one is worth a watch. Really, the only thing I wasn't terribly crazy about was just missing Axel Foley's distinctive laugh, which we saw in an interview clip that was like Eddie Murphy's just actual laugh, and then people just like caught on to it and gave him such a hard time about it that he just stopped laughing that way. And I was like, oh man.
Yeah, he didn't want to be that guy.
But he is that guy, and we love him for it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I don't know. I don't know when he did that. Maybe he was young and... Oh, it's just didn't go for. I was curious. And I don't know, because people still do it no matter what, right?
That's true, yeah.
And because of SNL, because of the Beverly Hills Cop movies, but okay, it's 3 a.m. here.
Yeah, we're past our bedtime, man.
No, it's not 3 a.m, but it's 4. But maybe I don't know. Maybe it was something. Did he think a lot about it? Maybe it was something he I don't know. Acting, dealing with the persona, the character. You want to be close, but not too close. You don't want to be associated with the character, but not enough to. If you do anything else, you're not going to be successful. Like Mark Hamill.
Right.
He did Luke Skywalker, and that's it. His career was like until he did the Joker.
That's right.
Batman animated.
He's an amazing voice career.
Yeah, but different than Harrison Ford, that did Han Solo and the Indiana Jones and the Jack Ryan, and keep doing and everything he does is amazing, spectacular. And some other people. So that's definitely the concern. There's definitely the fear of that. So maybe it was that. No. Who knows? But then he became known to be a donkey.
Which they also reference in this. There's lots of just like...
Hey, Shrek!
And in the morning, I'm making waffles. But his lines in Shrek, there's so many lines that live in my head rent-free that because I can't just make waffles. I'm making waffles. That's the only way to do that. You mentioned a parfait, which admittedly doesn't come up very often. But parfait, everybody loves parfait. That's the only way to say that. Every time I see a large rock, again, not very often, but if I see a large rock, there's donkey in my head. I like that boulder. That is a nice boulder. So why does he not? No, so in this interview, he's like, "That's not me." But we love it so much.
Yeah, but that's very different because the donkey is not him.
I hear ya, but
it's a donkey.
I just hope he realizes that he's beloved and we appreciate his contribution.
Shifu.
To our lives.
Shifu?
No, Mushu.
Mushu.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mushu is great too.
Travel size for your convenience. I watched these movies a lot growing up. Well, Mulan and Shrek were two of our favorites.
Anyways, so anything else about Axel F?
Anyway, it was super fun, and Eddie Murphy is a beloved icon.
Oh yeah.
I think what we've got going on.
Yeah. Well,
here.
He's in this movie. No, this movie is Wesley Snipes.
Nice one.
Yeah,
nice
it's
one.
in the movie you're gonna see. What I'm talking about. Fun fact: the movie was named Axel F, which is actually the name of. That's the name of the music. So just fun fact. Also the name of the character, sort of Axel Foley. But yeah. Beverly Hills Cop Axel F is available on Netflix. So if you like the original movies, and if you like Eddie Murphy, you should see it. If you don't like Eddie Murphy, there's something wrong with you. So you should see it and repent, regret, change your ways. So it's on Netflix.
Okay, another one we watched. This one was so interesting to me. This is a show called Clipped. This is based on a ESPN podcast, a season of their podcast called 30 for 30? 30 by 30? 30, 30. Anyway, an ESPN podcast, all about the Donald Sterling and V. Stiviano and the Clippers and the fallout from his racist remarks and all of that stuff. Very, very interesting show. Very interesting podcast.
The people from the podcast were involved with the show, right? Okay.
I think so. They must have been. So once we realized that this was based on a podcast, I went back and I listened to that original season. They also have a companion podcast, they've done like companion episodes to go with the show. I haven't listened to those. I listened to the original season that this was based on, and it's almost like everything lines up almost perfectly.
It's very interesting, very, very, even though some things feel old, it's actually very recent. It was like Obama years. And if you're not super young, you probably remember this. If anything, the weird, besides the racist comments, the weird like lady with a mask and the memes.
Yeah.
And so it was interesting to see that and Eddie O'Neill plays a great Donald Sterling. He's he's very, very good at being that despicable. Cleopatra Jones, what's her name?
I don't remember. I will say the actors in the show did such a good job that listening to the podcast, I could not tell.
They have voices on the podcast?
Yeah, and of course this podcast
Cleopatra Coleman.
Oh, yeah.
And of course Lawrence Fishburne also does a terrific job.
The podcast is well before the series was ever made, but I couldn't tell if they were clips from the show or not. Like, they sounded just like.
Wow.
So the actors, they did a great job with the casting, but then also the actors did good work matching, because of course this is all very recent history. We have and this is all based on like audio recordings and interviews and all this other stuff that's carefully recorded. The one thing that I don't know about, the podcast really just focuses on Donald, his wife Shelley, and V. Stiviano, and we don't spend a whole lot of time with Doc Brown. The show does.
Doc Brown.
Nope.
Doc Brown's from Back to the Future.
He is from Back to the Future.
Is Doc
No.
Rivers?
Shoot. Oh man. Okay. I'm not a racist. I'm a Back to the Future fan. Anyways, Doc Rivers.
1.21 gigawatts. No, different Doc.
Different Doc. I'm so sorry. Anyway, Doc Rivers. We spend a lot more time with him in the show than we do in the podcast, and so I'm not sure how much of his like conversations, how much of that is like terribly accurate or stuff that they wrote to just kind of help flesh out the context of the show and all that. I don't know. But everything else is like spot on.
Yeah, the name show is clipped, which is double meaning concerning, being clipped, but also the team, the Clippers, LA Clippers, and they definitely move the story to show the consequences of all the crap to the team, to the players and the coach, and what happened to the team. The NBA gets involved in, the whole mess. So
yeah.
So
it's very well made. Whether you listen to the podcast or watch the series, both are very well made, and the series is gonna lay out pretty much what happened. In some cases, almost word for word. Like everything you hear Donald Sterling, like say to the players, say in court, say on recordings, that's all stuff he actually said. This is a story just ripe for television because what really happened was so bizarre. They don't have to hype it up or dramatize anything. Like, it really was that crazy and that weird. Anyway, so yeah.
No, it was interesting. Everybody does a good job. Clipped is a FX show available on Hulu. All episodes are available. Short and I don't want to say sweet.
It's not sweet. It's interesting.
It's interesting. If you're a Clippers fan, or if you want to take a little peek on what the heck happened on those days, you should check.
Okay. Captain America: Brave New World. How are they doing over there?
Well, this is a whole mess. Apparently, they had to reshoot a lot. They changed the name of the movie. It was called... What the heck was it called?
I don't remember.
Jeez. New World Order? No.
It's been so fraught that I don't know if this scene in The Boys was specifically a dig at Captain America, but it definitely seems like it was. There's a scene in The Boys where they talk about how this new Vought superhero movie, they're doing reshoots of the reshoots, and so it's the most expensive VCU film ever, and how there's like it's gonna be great, but you can tell from their faces like nobody thinks it's gonna be great.
Yeah, it was called New World Order.
Interesting.
And it was changed to Brave New World. And they changed the story, like the main plot, the main villains. So apparently it wasn't working. So they changed drastically. And they recruit Harrison Ford. And they start reshooting. And reshooting. And the costs of all that mess are surpassing 275 million, which now even includes distribution and marketing, which is a big chunk of
That's right.
So this movie is gonna get close to cost 500 million, half a billion, and is the risk that's gonna be a flop are immense because the
last few Marvel movies have not done well.
And this one is hard because not because Captain America, as you see, he's a beloved character, but this one is the sidekick that became Captain America. In the books, it takes a while, years, for that process to happen. You know, Robin becomes Nightwing.
Right.
You know, grows into his own character, and several other moments to push that into a movie. It's like everybody loves, even though I have my personal opinions about Chris Evans, Steve Rogers, but everybody loves Steve Rogers, Captain America, on the MCU, and now you replace him. It already comes with problems because you know, the Captain America, that guy. No, we have a new one. You know, new Coke. Remember, it's a Coke that you love. Now we have a new one. So it's you know,
it's a tough sell.
Changes are the mind. So besides all that, there's the fact that something is not working. They're messing up and they have to reshoot, massive reshoots, and they're costing. And here comes the movie. We'll see what happens, but you know, yeah. So there's that.
Okay. Good luck, guys. Speaking of Marvel villains,
we talked about Blade. How Blade they had like
oh my gosh,
half a dozen scripts.
Yeah.
Write and rewrite. They finally came up with the idea that it's gonna
be about hunting vampires.
Hunting vampires.
What?
And like Blade has a daughter, and apparently he was like not secondary. He was a tertiary character on his own movie. So there's all that. Directors leaving, like 2 or 3 directors left, and then actors leaving, and the main actor like threatening to leave too, but they got locked into such contracts that it would be super expensive for them to leave, so they stuck to it, even though final product is a disaster, you know, like you know, Marvels among others. But
anyways, Josh Brolin has a series called Outer Range, but it's been canceled.
Yeah,
after 2 seasons.
2 seasons on Amazon Prime. 2 seasons out there. I don't know how the season ended. We didn't see, but let's hope they ended on a way that's not like hanging by a cliff.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Stranger Things season 5. This is the last season, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Maya Hawke says that it's basically 8 movies.
Yeah, 8 chapters. So each chapter is a full feature, a movie. We'll see about
They
that.
kind of did that with the last season, right?
Yeah.
There were some very long episodes. Well, I've really enjoyed the show so far. So if they want to give us 8 movies, why not? And if you would like to see the Zack Snyder Justice League on the big screen, stay tuned because that might happen.
Yeah, the man himself posted on his social media that darn, I didn't put it. Was that? No, I can't remember. But he teased the coming of the
Zack Snyder, you teaser.
Justice League, Zack Snyder's Justice League to the big screen, to the movie theaters. Let's hope it gets a wide distribution, a wide release, so everybody can see everywhere.
That would be really fun.
Because they did release in some places in LA, in New York, but if they release nationwide, everybody's gonna see.
Yeah.
Which is like,
And to know is to love.
with people we want to see. If you build, they will come. Meanwhile, James Gunn is producing this new Superman that looks more like a joke, more and more, and it's the uniform looks weird. The secondary characters are too many and look weird.
Yeah.
And it's James Gunn. It's not like the third Guardians of the Galaxy had like a little bit that could become something like big and great and important, serious, drastic, dramatic, call it as you want. But then it was like it's James Gunn. He's a joker, and some of his jokes are bad. But he decided to give him the biggest property they have. So we'll see.
What are you gonna do?
Maybe it will be so bad that the Flash shows up at the end. It's like, oh guys, I'm gonna have to.
Let's run this back real quick.
Yeah, let me go back to that Earth where Christopher Reeve is, and then they spin the Earth together and then reset the whole thing. But
oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, we can dream.
But Zack Snyder's Justice League will be back on the theaters. We come back to you with details once we get them.
Yes.
Yeah. What else?
That's it for this week.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so short and sweet. That's it for this week. We come back next week with more popcorn. Pop culture, news, and entertainment.
Yes, mostly that one.
Yes. Likes and subscribers. Share your comments, your insights. May the force be with you.
Live long and prosper.
Bye.
Bye.